I'm going to show you how to find, download, and use beautiful fonts with glyphs, which would be the little extra curly cues for hand lettering projects. We're going to walk through how to find the fonts, how to download the fonts, how to install them, and how to create a template that you can use for your artwork. One of the things that you're going to want to keep in mind, and I'll reiterate this later, is that you are looking for .otf files. Fonts can come in two different files, a TTF, which is a true type font, or an OTF, which I believe is open type font. Open type font, the OTF is the only one that actually supports the little extra glyphs. And so that is the type file that you're going to be looking for. But let's get started and show you how to find some fonts. The first site that I have up here is called defont.com. All of these links will be in the description below and also on the class handout, so you don't have to worry about that. One of the reasons I like this is because these fonts are most often free. So one of the things that I would do is to search for the particular kind of fonts that we want to use for hand lettering, which are fonts that have special glyphs, that have curly cues and slashes and different things like that. You're going to want to look onto font under script and then calligraphy. And then as you can see what pulls up, like this Shinin' Valentine. Let's click on it. And we can look at the actual letters. So you see each one of these letters has a little bit of a flourish to it. Then it has regular smaller case. And then we can go down and start seeing even some added extras. I'm not seeing a ton of extras, but there are a little bit here. You can see some curly cues on the O's, but mainly you've got a lot in the capital letter. So that is one way. You just want to click on the different ones. Like this one is probably another one. If we clicked here and we go down and we look at the pretty additions to the beginning and the ending letters, and as we scroll through the glyphs, there's not a lot of difference in the capital or the lowercase, but as we go down, again, I'm not seeing it. Where are there? View all glyphs. Okay, let's click here. View all glyphs. Okay, and now we've got the upper and the lowercase. We've got some numbers, some special characters. And as we keep going down, we should start see the A that has the little extra flambe to the side. That was what they used on the first letter. You've got all of the ones that are going to the left side of the letter. And then if we keep going down a little bit further, we're probably going to see the ones that all go to the right side of the letter. So that way you can use them at the beginning and the ending of words. Oh, and here's some even extras. They've got some really cute little squigglies that are there that would be fun for certain projects. And then they even have, like when you have certain letter combinations, 2 Fs, 2 Ls, 2 Ds, 2 Ts, a TH, they have actually a few other things. And then there's even just a couple of little lines that you could add into your project. So that would be a really good font to download for your hand lettering. So let me show you really quick. So we like this one, Adelia, and we're going to go down and we're just going to click download. And it's going to download onto my computer. I'm putting it in my downloads folder. And then if I go to my downloads folder, I can see the Adelia 3 and it's a zip file. I would need to click on the zip file, which opens the file up. And now you see that I have a PNG that shows me the same picture that we kind of saw on the website. And then we also have two different fonts in here. One is the Adelia.otf and the other one is a .ttf. Now, TTF does not include the glyphs. So the one that we're going to want is the OTF. So we could just totally get rid of these guys and just move into trash. And if you have a Windows computer, I'm going to go over in just a minute how to do this. All right, now we're going to take a look at one of my favorite sites, which is called creativefabrica.com. This is such a great site. For $3.99 a month or $47 a year, I think, you can get access to fonts, and graphics, and I mean, all kinds of things. It is just one for embroidery. If you're an embroidery, they've got embroidery templates, all kinds of craft things. It is a really great website. I love this website. So if I were looking for hand lettering fonts within this website, I would go into the search bar and I would put in hand lettering font. I would click that. And then I would, after it loads, go down and actually click on, just narrow it down to fonts by clicking that. And then a lot of the more hand lettering looking fonts would show up. Like this would be a really pretty one. It's got the little flambés like we had in the last font that we looked at, that we downloaded off of the font. And you just kind of scroll through and see something you like this Southville. That's kind of different. So let's look at it. We'll click on it. We're going to give it a second to come up. It's kind of giving us a preview of what it might look like. You can click through the different pictures and see different things that you can do with it. So obviously we don't just have the little twirlies out beside the side. We've also got some that could go underneath, which are kind of interesting. You can just go through and see different ways that you could use this particular font. And then if you really wanted to, I believe there is a place down at the bottom where you might could see more of the different glyphs that are available. But we're going to say that we like this one. And one of the neat things about Creative Fabrica too is that a lot of these items come with commercial usage allowed. So if you are a designer and you're doing things that you're going to be reselling, if you've done something with a commercial usage allowed, then you don't have to worry about there being any issues later. So we're going to download this font. And it's going to go into our download folder. It would come down as a zip file. I would click on it and unzip it just like I did on the last one. And then I would have this file. All right, a couple of other places that you might look for some fonts are FontSpace, Google Fonts, 1001 Free Fonts. All of these are going to be listed in your handout, so you don't have to remember them. But you're going to basically search the same way, and you're just looking for fonts that have the extra characters that will make your lettering more beautiful. Okay, and now we've talked kind of a little bit about the downloading, but I'm just going to quickly go through, just speaking out step by step, the Mac instructions and the Windows instructions of downloading and opening your zip files. So as I showed you earlier, I downloaded the font file, and then I went to my downloads folder and I found the .zip file, ZIP. Then we're going to open up Font Book, which is the font application on your Mac. We're going to go to File, which is just barely cut off. You can't see it on here, sorry. So File, and we're going to Add Font. And then we're going to go to our Downloads folder. We're going to go find one of the fonts, and we're going to make sure we get the OTF. So I'm going to do that Adelia, and I'm going to add it. I'm giving it permission to install. And then if I go into my search, then I just search for added today, and there's my font. If I click on it, it looks a little crazy. So I need to make my sizes a little smaller so that they're not running over each other. And I can see all the different glyphs here. I can actually click on the one that I want. I can copy it, and then I can go paste it. I'll show you how we do that later. But that's how you would get the particular glyphs that you want to use. For Windows, it is a little bit different, but pretty close. So again, you're going to download the file. You're going to locate where that zip file went. And then you're going to right click on the zip file and it will extract it. You're going to look in the folder that it extracted it to. You are looking for that .otf file. Then you click on that file and you choose Install for All Users. And it will automatically install it as a font onto your Windows computer. And then for you to view the glyphs, you open up Character Map by pressing Windows plus the R and type CHARMAP for character map, and you hit enter and it will pull up the character map and you can see all your glyphs. This is going to be in your handout, so you don't have to remember exactly how to do this, or you can refer back to this video. So now that we have our fonts installed, let's see how we can actually use them to create a template for our projects, for these letterings. And there are several different options again that you have for this one. There is a free web-based, it's kind of a Photoshop alternative called Photopea. 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 Again, web-based, and it's free. And it supports using custom fonts, so you could use that. You could use Microsoft Word. If the font is on your Microsoft computer, then when you open up Microsoft Word, you would have access to that font with its special characters. And I am told through my research that Microsoft Word supports the special characters, but that one you might actually have to do a little bit of research or, search just to make sure how to put those characters in, because I don't have a Windows computer and I can't do that for you. You can also use them in Apple Pages. Mac users can access the glyphs via that character viewer, and they can add those in. And then there's one other way, and it's Canva Pro, but that is paid. It is not free. I do have a Canva Pro account, and that's what I use most often. And so I'm probably just going to demonstrate it in Canva Pro because it's going to be kind of similar across however you use it. So let's open up Canva. Okay, now we're in Canva and I'm going to create a design. Let's say that we are going to make a happy birthday phrase to add to a greeting card. I'm going to do a custom size here. And the custom size is going to be, our width is going to be 4¼ by 5½ inches. Create new design. Okay, and here we have our canvas. We're going to hit the text box and we're going to put in happy birthday. And of course, we're going to want it a little bit bigger. And right now that's pretty boring, pretty plain. But I had already uploaded that South fill that we downloaded earlier off of Creative Fabrica. So I'm going to load that in. But again, it could be prettier. So I am going to go to, and this is one of the reasons I love Creative Fabrica. Within it, it has something called Font Cloud, and it is another way that I can view all the pretty glyphs. Let's look at these. Which one do I want to use? I could do this H, and when I click it, it copies it to my clipboard, and then I'm going to go back to Canva, and I'm going to just highlight that H, and I'm going to paste it in. So now I have this pretty little H. If I go back to Font Cloud, and I look for a Y for the other end, then I could go to Canva again, and I could highlight the Y, and I could paste it in. But we need to do something with this B. It doesn't look quite right, does it? So we have some capitals. Let's see, the B. We could do that. We'll go paste it in and see what that looks like. I think the H needs to either be capital or we have to lowercase the B. Let's see what the H looks like. So we copy it. All right, now I could have that. I could play around with the letter spacing if I wanted to. I can make it tighter, whatever. Or if I didn't like that, I could change it and we could go back to that lowercase h. There we go. And let's look at a different Y that might not be quite as curly Q, that would balance on the other side, like this one. There we go. Now let's see what our options for like a lowercase b. We're going to highlight this b and we're going to paste it in. Now we could have that. That might work well as a happy birthday. If we wanted to just make it a little bit bigger for the card, we could do that. And that might be a good phrase for you to use a birthday card. I mean, you can play around with it and do whatever you want to. But one thing when you do get ready to print, I would suggest that you print the color instead of a black. Do like a light gray so that just something light like that so that you can see it. And then when we trace over them in just a bit with a number 2 pencil, you're going to actually be able to see where you have traced, and it's a little bit harder to see when it's black. So now let's take these phrases and let's actually add them to our canvases.